And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. Shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who you used to be. For just tonight, could you just dance the night away?
I do like the Cantha area. I find it looks more like a city area. Like this one looks like it's pretty. I like the different variations. It looks fun, like it looks civilized but still kind of wild. So far I like it. I also like that the training on this is a lot better, and people mentioned that too. I think you mentioned that too last time. So it's not anything, that isn't true. I was trying to think of how to put that, but my brain just was short circuiting. I have to go back. You want me to go all the way back? Watch me go all the way back, and then these assholes had me go back out there. But I like the Cantha area. The desert area looks really pretty too. But I have a harder time getting into that area. It will be better. Like I said, I think as long as I start expanding my palette, it'll be good. Because in Guild Wars 2, I played Ranger for like several years, and that was it. I didn't need to be a warrior. Didn't need to be guardian. Didn't do all these other things. So it's really weird to learn that way. But it's also gonna be better for me as a player because it will make me more adaptable. Because let's be real, sometimes we gamers do not get flexible, and that flexibility makes us brittle and salty. And I get very salty about lots of stupid crap. So this will theoretically be a lot better for me because I will start opening that. I'll be open-minded. There we go. I was trying to think of how to put it. But I do like this map, like this area. So far, this is one of my favorite ones because the area is very chill. The missions are very calm. It'll probably get more erratic as we go along. I really feel like being in the first one, it threw you into the middle of a war and said, "Here, swim." So that's not a bad thing. That's definitely some characters love. But I was sitting here thinking, what? Why do I care that this prince is dying? Why do I care he's running off into the woods like a maniac? I love Buildcraft in Guild Wars 1, but I just stick to the same thing in Guild Wars 2. Exactly. That's what. Yeah, that's the thing. Is the Guild Wars 1 has you build crafting all the time, and the Guild Wars 2 has you sticking with preferred. And granted, there are some Guild Wars 2 players who play multiple tunes, insane amount of tunes, and they just build all these different things and stuff. That's fine too, and more power to you. Those players are insane. I had a guild member recently in Guild Wars 2 say, "Is it bad that I can't find a main?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, I like these 3 classes, and I'm good at them, or I feel good with them. Is that bad?" I'm like, "No, run with that. Inspire that, dude. It's so good to have multiple avenues to work with." But they felt like they were supposed to have a main. It was so funny. The difficult spikes up in this campaign much faster than the others. Okay, so I will be trying to keep that in mind. All right. Oh, okay, cool. So I can pick them now. Understand that from the headmaster, you have to study the progress, please. Let's speak to the warrior. Because we already know we'll do warrior. Let's see. So I'll try to keep that in mind. And that's another thing, though, too. Being the ranger might give me a little bit of an advantage. Since I have a little bit more skills in ranger. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking around. Fire trap looks like it'd be cool. I'm wondering if I shouldn't do... Okay, let me move these skills around if I can. Because this one's cool, but I want this here. I hate this healing skill. I want a different one. We're gonna just level up our beast so that it has more damage right now. Actually, hold up. Let's split it between... Oh, I can't change them. We'll see. I could change them, but I guess I can't. It's fine. We'll keep it there. We're gonna get more levels anyways. So I'll keep in mind of the difficulty spikes, but at least the training aspect isn't that bad. That could just be a Guild Wars 1 staple, too, where it's just like, here's all the mechanics. Now swim. Swim at full breaststroke. We didn't learn breaststroke. Does not matter. Breathe underwater. Gain lungs. Okay, you become a great warrior. To become a great warrior, or even a good one, you're going to need a vast amount of training. Duh. Oh, okay. That's better, I think. Is that better than the one I've got? Okay, that's 28. It feels better. But you lose armor. Okay. You have armor while using this. Okay. Theoretically, though, if you heal yourself high enough, can you combat that? I don't know. I think that's worth it. Sword attack inflicts bleeding conditions. Okay. Melee attack. You have no fear. Yeah, no. Just deals 10 damage. Okay. Let's change up that healing. Maybe. I don't know. Should I do one or both? Like I could do one for like emergency healing. No, I'll just have a healer with me. We'll just do it that way for right now. The thing is so long and it can be interrupted too. Inflict bleeding. Strength. Okay. Fire trap's cool. This one is we don't need charm animal. We have the pet already. Let's do this. This one causes bleeding. Let's do bleeding for sure. I'm trying to debate on the stance versus the... Oh no, I'm debating. I could get rid of the range attack. Is this one? Hold up, let me see which this one is. Okay, this one's just part of that. Okay, cool. Let's do this. Yeah. What was the... Let's do this. It's power shot. We'll do this, because I think it's about the same. Do that. We'll take that off temporarily. To prep. Power shot. Yeah, like this. Let's do that. We don't need the charming skills. Okay. Maybe we'll do this. That's what we'll do. I probably have too many healing skills, but maybe I can use this for battle when I'm just kind of looking a little low, and I can use that after battle's over in case I'm like really fucked up. Or if I'm really fucked up and I can walk away. So we'll do that. Okay, let's see. See, I told you! I walked all this way and they're like, yeah, now go back into the boonies. Jerks. I could also go level up my character in the other region, too. Hold it, who's this? I'd love to give you a belt pouch. They cost me practically nothing, you know. I hate to see young heroes go that. Okay. But unfortunately, I have to run out of materials for which to make one. If you could go grab, okay, I could grab you that. It's not a big deal. I'd be heading that way anyways, because I'm gonna go up this way. So yeah, we could do that. We could go grind and farm, start leveling up because the game's grindy, and you know. Let's see. Sorry, I was looking around to see if there's anything else I would need. There's a collector over here, but I don't know if I want to bother with the collector yet. Because my armor might be good until I get to a capital. I don't know if this actually is considered a capital. Let me just go find out. We'll find out. Because I'm not sure if this one's just kind of like the capital is the first one you end up in, or if it's in something else. Okay, so this is the bag. Okay, cool. So this is the 5 holding bags. The one I'm holding is a backpack. It's 20. So, meh. Because we're gonna do the one guy's mission. So we'll see. I thought maybe he had armor, but I think it's just a bag. Alright, let's go. So yeah, we're just gonna end up doing this when it comes to Guild Wars 1, I think now, because I've hit a rock spot in core, which is weird because in Guild Wars 2, core's not like that. Guild Wars 2, they really baby you for a while. And some players don't like the babying, I won't lie. They complain about, I want to get to all the cool stuff, and we're like, yeah, but you're not gonna survive the cool stuff. You can't be level 60 and a level 80 and not be, you know, taking hits every now and then. You still can do it. Okay, here's the thing. You can theoretically do it if you're level 60 in a level 80 area. It's just that you're gonna need a lot of careful maneuvering or don't die. That is your only options. There is no in between. I forgot tiger, so we're just kind of exploring around. Have I been everywhere? I guess this is just the valley. How strong are these things? They're level 1. Okay, we need to find something level probably 3 or 4. Let's go talk to this guy. Maybe if I level up to like level 5 and move to the next map and then go 5 more levels, we won't be that bad. I don't know. It depends, because it depends on how quickly it goes from, you know, level 5 to nothing. Okay, so you have a belt that holds 5, so we'll keep walking. I'm gonna head to the next map. I think that's gonna be our best bet with that. But yeah, so we'll just explore about. I had one character, I was playing with a random player, I was running around doing my own thing, and it was a level 60 area, and they were level like 20. And new, no masteries, nothing. And they were sitting there dying, and they were trying to fight stuff, and they're like, I don't know what to, like, they're like, I don't understand why I'm dying. I'm like, oh, sweetie, you're out leveled by like 4 times your level. More than that, actually. But pretty close. Like, because they were like, I think they weren't level 20 just yet. They were just below level 20. But I think this leads into a different path, I think. So I'm kind of exploring up here a little bit. Yes. So let's go kill some guys up here. There we go. I probably should have put the trap there. It's fine, I guess. I forgot the traps, that was a trap. I should have hit this one right here, but it didn't work. Oh, there's a waypoint here. So maybe we could farm up here a little bit? There we go. It's pretty good. Nice combo, I think. It works for now. A red Yeti. Seriously, why is there so many Yetis out here? Also, we don't have Yetis in Guild Wars 2. I want Yetis. Why can't we have that? I want the fancy stuff. There we go. You dropped something. Give me. Give me what's in your wallet. Once we get to level 5, I'll head on to the next area. Because I don't know what I'll be looking in for. I don't know what we'll be getting into is what I'm trying to say. It's pretty good. Okay. Also, that was the other one. That was the other build. I remember now. There was one that was a barrage one, which is Warrior Ranger or Ranger Warrior, and then the other one, other than the one that I'm doing with the Beast Smasher one, which they said works better with Warrior as well because you can use a adrenal weapon. I don't know. But the other one, I think you could theoretically get around it. Most of it's Ranger skills, so you could theoretically get around it. But the other one was Trapper Ranger, which means that its skills have you baiting enemies into traps, which is cool and all, but I don't think I'll be able to do that. I don't think I'm good enough for that as a player. Try to do all the quests you can, even the intro ones, for all the secondary classes. Okay, this is fair. I think I'll see if I can find them. We're gonna get to level 5 and I can head back to the city because we're not very far from the city. I think we're just kind of up here running around the mountains. I'm pretty sure I got all the missions in town, but it doesn't really mean that. Because we really need more of the skills for both of the Ranger and the Warrior, which is why I did Ranger if it wasn't obvious. Because my way of explaining things isn't always the best. The XP for quest is huge in factions, and you need to stay on the curve. Yeah, so you stay with the leveling. This is fair. I'm almost at this part. Its stance is good. These two combined seem really nice. But again, we are in easy territory. My pet is losing its absolute mind.
Are you getting the hang of it now?
No. Okay. I made a new... I kept my old two. It's still there. But we are now doing Warrior Ranger with the Factions expansion in order to get skills for both. And we're going to test it out. We're going to see if Warrior's up my alley. But right now we're leveling to level 5. We're going to go back and make sure there's no missions to do. Should be close to level 20 when you leave the island. Okay, cool. That I can actually do. Which means I will make sure to farm this tune-up, whether it's being recorded or not. Hello, Captain. There was some troubling rumors with the Naga. Okay. Give me. Alright, so we got one there. We'll start looking around. Start collecting stuff. Thank you for the information on this. Okay, do I need to do anything from you, sir? Okay, yeah, you just want me to do that. Okay, cool. And you were my headmaster because I was ranger outright, right? Do you have anything else? Okay, no. Just making sure. Let's see about anyone else on the island or in the city and stuff. Also, this does probably mean that I should explore other the entire maps as well. So we'll do completions and stuff. I already know that leads into an instance, and so I've already found everything from that. What is this? Tablet of Mission Wisdoms. You should be able to confuse the... Okay. Okay, so it's just a information log on the matter. So this is just like some little tablets here. I like that they made these tablets here. This is a good idea. Yeah, so it's like giving you tutorials that you're reading. Because some players prefer to read versus being shown, and some vice versa. I prefer to be shown because I don't always comprehend what I'm reading. It's not even an intentional thing. Oh man, that was something growing up that was horrible. Was having teachers be like, you're not comprehending it because you're not trying hard enough. It's like, no, I'm trying too hard, and so I'm not understanding a single word you're saying to me. So repeat yourself a 5th time, please, so that I can comprehend what you said, and say it with, like, not with sarcasm in your voice, because the sarcasm makes me shut down immediately. Not even because of, like, the reading disability. It has everything to do with the fact that as soon as you start getting sarcastic with me, I stop caring about your opinion. Whether you could be saving my life from drowning, and the moment you get sarcastic, my brain shuts off like, nope, I'll die. It's not a healthy way to manage. Like, I won't lie. But, like, my level of brain will not take sass to a certain degree to just being like, I will die for the bit kind of thing. And here's the thing, I've been like that since I was a kid. Okay, so I think I got all the ones here, at least for now. I'll keep coming back checking to make sure I got everything, just in case. You never know. But like, I like growing up, my parents like said that they meant this nicely, but they're like, but my attitude sometimes made the situation 10 times worse than the situation called for. I'd like to say that I'm working on it and that I'm a better person, but sometimes it comes out. I do not appreciate being treated like I'm stupid. I'm just slow. Give me a moment. My brain's on wheelchair, like wheels, okay? It doesn't apprehend the way other people's do. Also, I like the fact that I got a tiger, but it did say the tiger is a glass cannon on the wiki that I was looking at, or the page. It says that it can be really powerful, but it can also be really squishy. So, I don't know what to do about that. So my hope is that because he's a ranger warrior, he'll be a little bit tankier and be able to do a bit more damage, so the tiger being a little squishy won't matter. Because trying to find another pet's just going to be a nuisance. But for right now, at least it's something to play with for funsies. But yeah. So like, I have faults as a person. But I had one teacher who got so mad at me. She was that teacher that everyone said was a good teacher, and then you get to meet her and she's an ass. I don't know where you read that. Pets are pretty identical. They were saying on the wiki, it's just kind of like said that for the trap building, it was a bit more that. I don't know. I don't really think it matters, because with the warrior build, I'm not even relying on my pets. I think it was saying that based on beast pet build. I think that's what it was under. But since I'm doing a warrior, I'm not relying on the pet. We're relying specifically on my character's skills. The pet's just there to help do extra damage and healing. Well, not healing, protection. There we go. I don't know. I don't really, like, when I looked at the wiki, it did seem like most of the pets in Guild Wars 1 are very samey. They're not like in Guild Wars 2 where it matters. Like, because in Guild Wars 2, it does matter what you use for your build. You can still get away with it. For example, if you're doing a healing run, I had one person who has a healing build, but they don't have the right pet for healing. They have, like, the bird or the bear or something. It was like, I think it was hawk or something and bear. But they liked those pets, and they wanted them. And it didn't affect their healing. It still made them effective. It just didn't give them the little bit of boons when doing rotations. It wasn't major. We were doing strikes. If we were doing raids, they would have been doing fine too. So it wasn't like a big freaking deal, but they matter still depending on what you're using. It doesn't seem like that's the case in Guild Wars 1 when I'm looking at the the paperwork and stuff, and looking at like what the actual official Guild Wars 1 like papers say, because it just makes it seem like it doesn't matter. that some give a little bit more healing, but not enough to do anything. Most of them just give power and another minion to work with. But they all do the attack skills all the same. So, but I liked the tiger just to seemed like a fun thing to use. Here we go. Hello. What do you got for me? Got my missions? Blessing a new child. Are you a new student in the monastery? Yes, I thought so. I could always recognize a face of eager young students hungry for knowledge. Is there your first time in the island? You should really visit some of the local landmarks here. Oh yeah, so it was wise to send you. Okay. I think he's over here. I think I saw the thing that she's talking about. But yeah, I don't really care about the thing because, like I said, I took a lot of this information I found with a grain of salt. Because, as I said with Guild Wars 2, their wiki is well organized and well categorized. But Guild Wars 1 is an older game, and so a lot of the websites that used to be there or kept updated aren't necessarily all there anymore, or they're harder to read for me. But I did get some information. It's like the skills that I looked, because this one person was saying that they use these skills, blah, blah, blah. And then I looked it up and those skills exist. So that's what I'm going to go with. It's kind of my method here. And the tiger was the first pet we came across, so. But I had a teacher, right? This teacher was well known for being like a fantastic teacher, quote unquote fantastic, right? She's supposed to be this great teacher. Everybody like thought she was like nice and stuff. I'm going to this. That she was supposedly like scoring the best. I don't know how they how they identify who's a good teacher and who's not a good teacher. She was an ass, okay? And so she thought I wouldn't read things correctly out of spite. And really, it was because, no, I didn't understand the word that was in front of me. And instead of giving me an alternative definition of, like, picture the word, instead of saying, like, blaze, you might say fire. It's the same kind of context because they're talking about, like, a fire on the book or something. But she did not think I was serious. She thought my disability, and I quote, was all made up or exaggerative for attention. She thought I was lying about being able to properly comprehend written text for attention. And I cannot tell you how angry that made me as a kid, because I would trade my left foot and my right hand to be able to think like a normal freaking human being. Like, being able to comprehend information would be a godsend. I like reading, and I can't half the time read correctly unless I'm doing it in my own head where I have time to process it, because no one's going to tell me to read it faster because the class is listening. I'm telling you, ticked me off. I had several fights with that teacher because she thought I was faking it, making it up, exaggerating this. I would break down to freaking tears as a first grader in her class, okay? I was a first grader. If I wanted people's attention, all I had to do, scare off the nog in the area. Okay, so cool. We just gotta cost everybody that we see. All I had to do to get attention was bat my eyelashes and tell a horrible dad joke, and everyone was cooing over me. I didn't need to be special. Like, my parents paid lots of attention to me as kids. I also went home and told my dad that one time, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the exact thing I said, but I told my dad about how she was how she told me that I was just trying to make a spectacle of myself, and that I was clearly just wanting attention and not getting enough attention at home. My dad was not happy about that. My parents were very active, like, participants in our growing up. My dad didn't like that. He didn't say anything mean or anything. He sent a letter to the teacher, or specifically to the principal, saying, I do not appreciate some assumptions being made about my bringing of my children up or whatever. He essentially was just saying, I don't like the fact that somebody was making an assumption that I would do anything to harm my children or to not be an attentive parent, you know, an absentee parent, you know, that type of thing. I don't blame my dad for being mad about that because it was really disrespecting his honor. Because I told my teacher, I was like, no, my parents like me and care about me. I'm struggling. My special ed teacher, who also was specifically dealing with my English, because I had English and math when I was little. And then when I got to being about 3rd, 5th grade, they took me out of math. I think it was 3rd grade. They took me out of math. They're like, okay, well, you clearly understand math enough that you don't need help. Because with math, I just sit there and repeat the problem. I had teachers who were like, I want you to show me how you did it, and then I want you to make sure you got the right answer. I would have, like, my teacher could see me doing my math on the side of my paper. It was really funny. One time, like, my teacher looked at me and he goes, you got the wrong answer on this, but I marked it right because right here you have it right. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, look, because I had wrote the problem out on the side of my paper instead of getting a new paper because I was lazy. That was the reality of it. I was lazy. So I did that. He's like, you have it right here. I was like, I thought that was wrong. He's like, well, then why didn't you erase it? And I was like, I got lazy and I showed him my eraser, which was completely bald on the top. I was like, and I don't have a new one. He started laughing. He's like, you don't have a new pencil eraser, so you just left it. And I'm like, I figured it wasn't in the way. He's like, you're lucky that your eraser died on you because I'm going to mark it right because it's right here, right? Not here, right? And then he went over with me. But with math, you can redo the math over and over and over, and then you can figure out if you're right or wrong if you keep doing it. Because I would just do it multiple ways, and like I would time something multiple times or multiple ways to make sure I had the right answer right. You can't do that with English. You can't take 30 hours to question it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like using different lineups and then get the right answer. It doesn't work that way. That is not how you do it. You say something you wrong, and then you have to apologize because you suck. Like, you can't write your English paper 6 times and be like, which one's right? So, but anyways, I had English and math at the time. So I told my English special ed teacher about what the teacher said. And then I told my math teacher about that. And they ganged up on her. Between my dad sending the note and the teacher saying that's unacceptable behavior. Like, my math teacher was a hard ass, and she was an absolute witch of a person, but at least she got results. And like, I never really had too much of an issue with her personally because she had her bring a message to the village. Okay, is that a demand? Close enough, speak, and then be gone. Oh, we're just watching you. Scrolls, order the people of the village to pay 2/3 of their crops in tribute. 2/3? That's a lot. We will starve if you give you that much. What will you ask is impossible. Yeah, that is really rough. We have many months to feed in our guild. Many mouths to feed in our guild. Surely a farmer eats less than a man. Work to grow these crops and do nothing to deserve them. Yeah. We protect you against outsiders. None dare attack the village. Your godless sons will rob the village blind. Yeah, but see, yeah, no. I take it. An answer is no. Captain will be not pleased. You can't expect that of them. You and your captain could go to the mist for all I care. We tell them to die. Damn. This is not the end of this matter, farmer. Okay. Time out. That's not. Go home to your master and tell him you have no further use for you here. Okay. Time out. With farmers specifically, because I know this specific thing. Farmers need to make enough food to feed themselves and to sell, and then all extras can go to other people. I'm sorry to say that's kind of how it was with people, farming for food. Like, modern day farming is not nearly as demanding as long-term farmer, because this is back in the medieval times. So they'd have to farm enough to feed them and their workers, even if their workers were their own children, you know. The Seven Samurai reference. Oh, that's fair. You have you have to make enough to feed your people and to reseed stuff if your crops can be reseeded. If they can't be reseeded, then you have to sell a certain percentage of your crops to get back seeds for next year. Modern farmers sometimes have to replant because some plants are specifically genetically modified to not have seeds. Orange, like I think I know, like orange farmers in the local area used to do that. They had oranges that had the meat but no seeds. And they did that simply because people would steal the oranges and then go grow them themselves. And then these farmers would try and breed these oranges to be the best quality, so people were taking homemade quality. Also, the other thing to it, too, is having these oranges have seeds that are less likely to be fertile or can't grow at all. They're less likely to grow quality stuff. And on top of that, it leaves more room for, like, the meat of the fruit. So, that being said, I don't necessarily think medieval people had that going on because it took a long time for selective breeding to take effect. But they did do selective breeding. So my point being is that asking them to give you 2/3 of their stuff is balls to the wall crazy and impossible. Anyways, as I was saying before, she ended up getting in severe trouble for implying neglect on my parents' part, like a loving neglect and attention, and my teachers were not amused at all. Or, like my special teachers were not amused by her her thoughts on the matter. I'd never seen two teachers look so mad, because my math teacher, like I said, she was moody as a person, but she wasn't unreasonable most of the time. But she did not like that comment, and when you got her riled up, you got half the wing riled up, because that woman she'd make the devil cry, okay? I'm just saying. She had a fury when she wanted it. She didn't try to lash out at those kids when she could, but when she did, yeah, it's best keep your head low. Alright, I'm gonna grab this one. Ooh, get around. Do you have in mind of saying? Do me a favor? So we gotta kill some things. Pest control. I think this is the one we were here for, though. Let's keep going with this. I do need to stay in this area and explore more at some point. I think we're just going to try and walk through these areas. But yeah, she was not... It caused a stain to her reputation a little bit when people found out she'd said that to a disabled kid. Well, like reading disabled, not physical. But my teacher made a stink about it, and she ended up being more of a pain in the ass to me again for that reason. Hello there. Yes. Here's the out of leather. Here he is. Before I give you the leather, I'll need you to ask a favor. Okay, cool. So you want me to steal it? They've been stealing your animals here. Oh, that's gross. Okay, we will deal with that in a second. Give me a moment. We're gonna call it on this video. But yeah, she got some heat for that. She tried to bully me some more by being passive. It's not really bullying as much as it was being passive aggressive and being a jerk. But it didn't work out very well for her because she learned quickly that anytime she would say something that I felt was out of color, I would tell everybody and their mother. Not because I was being malicious or anything, but because I was a kid. And I also was a kid that knew that they had problems, so I couldn't tell what was normal behavior. So I would tell everybody what happened to me or what people said to me, and then based on their reaction, I would be able to know if it was normal or not. That's how I did it. And my parents and my special ed teachers were the ones I normally bounced it off, because I didn't have any friends in the first grade, but I had friends up in third grade. So that's how I did that. So it wasn't really that I was trying to shitstorm anything. It was that I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of felt like if I communicated it, it was better than not communicating at all and then not getting an answer as to what was normal about those interactions. Like, I kind of got the feeling, like, I would always worry that I overreacted a little bit sometimes, so that's why I would always gauge something, you know? I still do that as an adult now. I will ask other people their opinions on XYZ thing. Normally, I'll switch it around a little bit so that they don't know who I'm talking to, because it could be a misunderstanding and maybe I overreacted or something like that. But if it isn't, then I give details because I don't know what else to kind of gauge it on. Anyways, so we're gonna move on to the next game. I think it's gonna be Witcher.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. I'll shake all the hurt away so you can feel and forget who